We're back with some baseball. This is break 976, the Diamond Kings baseball. The first one we're opening here is a squad, and that is going to be a three-team random. Three-team random. Let's see how many times we're going to randomize it. That's going to be 8. 8. Alrighty. 8 times here. Let's do it. Oh, 9 times. Thank you, John. We can see 9 on the dice. Yeah, this one could be fun. Boom. There we go. I'll get these loaded up. We'll let it run through one time, and then we will rock and roll. We're looking for 1 autograph, 1 memorabilia card, 3 frame parallels, and 12 inserts in this one. It's going to be pretty interesting to go through it right here, but we will see what we can do. Let's rip. Alrighty. We've got our 12 packs right there. Let's see. Frank Thomas of the Chicago White Sox, followed by Bryce Harper of the Philadelphia Phillies. We have Isaac Paredes of the Detroit Tigers going to Cliff. Then we got Charlie Keller of New York. Looks like the Yankees, right? Charlie Keller of the Yankees right there. And then we have Joe DiMaggio of the Yankees as well. Both of those going to Sean. Then we have Ronald Acuna Jr., the gallery of stars of the Atlanta Braves, going to Edvin. And we have the Joe Wood of the Boston Red Sox going to Edvin, and Yogi Berra of the Yankees going to Sean. We have Buster Posey of the Giants. We have a Clark Schmidt RC of the New York Yankees, followed by Ted Williams of the Red Sox, DJ LeMahieu of the New York Yankees, followed by Nate Pearson RC of the Toronto Blue Jays, and that's going to be going to Cliff. Lou Brock of the St. Louis Cardinals, and Mike Trout of the Los Angeles Angels, followed by Jose Garcia of the Cincinnati Reds going to Edvin. And then it looks like we're going to have an auto, and it is Mr. Jazz Chisholm of the Miami Marlins. Jazz Chisholm of the Miami Marlins, and that is number 63 out of 99 right there. And that is going to be going to Shannon. And then we're going to have a artist palette. That is not Shane, but it is not Justin, but Shane Bieber of Cleveland going to Shannon. And then we have a Diamond Kings debut, Brady Singer of the Kansas City Royals, and that is going to Sean, followed by another Kansas City Royal, this one Chris Bubich of the Royals to Sean. Yeah, they're super cool looking. Rin Sandberg of Chicago. That looks like the Cubs right there. We have a filler. Then we have a Babe Ruth, the club. Babe Ruth, the club right there of the New York Yankees, followed by Tyler Stevenson of Cincinnati and Ryan Mountcastle of the Orioles. Then that's going to Shannon. We have Sixto Sanchez of the Miami Marlins going to Shannon. Followed by Honus Wagner of the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Sherton Apostle of the Texas Rangers going to Shannon. Joe Morgan of the Cincinnati. Vlad Guerrero of the Blue Jays. Then we have Mookie Betts Elegance of the Los Angeles Dodgers, followed by a Diamond Kings debut, Tyler Stevenson of Cincinnati, and then Mr. Cal Ripken of the Baltimore Orioles, and that's going to Shannon. And if you're enjoying this Diamond Kings, we've got another one up there for you, another 3-team random. We have Luis Gonzalez of the White Sox going to Sean, followed by Fernando Tatis Jr. of the Padres, Andres Jimenez of Cleveland going to Shannon, Satchel Paige also of Cleveland going to Shannon, Will Crow RC of the Pirates going to Shannon, and then we have a legendary lithographs, Walker Johnson of Washington. Walker Johnson of Washington, and we will check this one out to make sure we have it go to the right team. 1 second, folks. Oh, of the Washington Senators. So we will double check to make sure we know which team that gets placed with. Followed by Al Cullen of the Detroit Tigers and a Atlanta debut of Christian Pache of the Braves. Up with. Senators became the Nationals. I believe so as well. Shane Bieber of Cleveland. Monte Harrison of the Miami. Because the Expos became the Nationals. Miami of the Monte Harrison of the Marlins. Hank Greenberg of Detroit. Letty Traveris of the Rangers going to Shannon. Then we have a Diamond Kings debut, Dylan Carlson. This is one of the framed parallels, the gray edition right there. And that is going to Shannon, or Edvin. Followed by Garrett Cole, aficionado of the Yankees. Then we have David Peterson, RC of the Mets, and Luen Diaz of the Marlins. The Mets going to Cliff and the Marlins to Shannon, and we're halfway through this box. We've got Harmon Killebrew of the Twins of Minnesota. The Minnesota Twins, followed by Alex Bregman of Houston, Garrett Crochet of the White Sox, Walker Buehler of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Followed up by Ryan Jeffers of the Minnesota Twins going to Edvin. We have a filler right there. Then we have Sammy Sosa, the club of the Chicago Cubs, followed by a Dylan Carlson of the St. Louis Cardinals.
That was Walter Johnson of the Senators?
Yes.
It looks like they're not the Twins.
Got it. And then we have Max Scherzer of the Nationals. The Washington Senators is the Minnesota Twins. Relocated there in 1960. We have Mickey Mantle of the Yankees, followed up by William Contreras of the Atlanta Braves going to Edvin. Kristen Yelich of the Brewers, followed by Jesus Sanchez of the Marlins, and that's going to be going to Shannon. And then we have a Jersey Kings, Chris Sale of the Boston Red Sox, and that is going to Edvin. Followed up by the Art of Hitting, Mel Ah of the New York Yankees. I keep just double checking these to be 100% certain. The Art of Hitting, Mel Ah. Then we have Matt Chapman of Oakland and Kyle Lewis of Seattle. We have Pete Rose of Cincinnati, followed by Shane McClanahan of Tampa Bay. Shane McClanahan of Tampa Bay. Then we have Ty Cobb of Detroit. Miguel Cabrera of Detroit. The Art of Hitting out of 99. That's Mr. Jose Altuve of the Houston Astros. And that's going to be going to Sean. Followed by a legacy lithograph, Mike Schmidt of the Philadelphia Phillies. Alex Moran of the Phillies, also going to Cliff. And then we have Josh Fleming of the Tampa Bay Rays going to Edvin. Braylon Marquez of the Cubs, and that is going to Shannon, followed by Kohai Ariaha of the Texas Rangers, going to Shannon. Alex Kirilloff of the Minnesota Twins, going to Edvin, followed by Aaron Judge of the Yankees, a plum portraits. Who lives, who dies, who tells Trevor's story of the Colorado Rockies, going to Cliff. Then we have the Carl Hubel of Aficionado of New York. New York right there. Just trying to check quick to see if I can find him. That is going to be A2 of the New York Giants. So we will make sure to look that up and figure out where that's going. Followed by Jared Olivia of the Pittsburgh Pirates, going to Shannon. And Drew Rasmussen of the Milwaukee Brewers, going to Sean. The New York Giants are now the San Francisco Giants. That makes sense. Moved there in 1958. We have Ian Anderson of the Atlanta Braves going to Edvin, followed by Joey Votto of the Cincinnati Reds. Braxton Garrett, RC of the Miami Marlins, going to Shannon. Then we got Babe Ruth of the Yankees right there. Then we got Dylan Carlson, RC of the St. Louis Cardinals, going to Edvin. Followed up by a Fernando Tatis Jr. Gallery of Stars. Jimmy Fox of the Red Sox, and Walter Alston of the Dodgers. Rogers Hornsby of the Cardinals, Jose Ramirez of Cleveland, Bobby Delback of the Boston Red Sox, followed by Cody Bellinger of the Angels. And then we have another portrait. This is Joe Morgan of the Cincinnati Reds going to Edvin. We have the artist proofs, Joey Gallo, artist palette, Joey Gallo of the Rangers going to Shannon. Followed up by a Diamond Kings debut, Christian Javier of the Houston Astros, and that is going to be going to Sean. Followed by a Brady Singer of the Kansas City Royals, and that is going to be going to Sean as well. Alrighty, let's run down some of these inserts. The Gallery of Stars, Fernando Tatis of the Padres going to Cliff. Sam Hubble of the Carl Hubble of the New York Giants, now the San Francisco Giants, going to Edvin. Mike Schmidt of the Philadelphia Phillies going to Cliff. Mel Ott of the New York Yankees going to Sean. Sammy Sosa of the Chicago Cubs going to Shannon. Garrett Cole, aficionado of the Yanks, to Sean. Walter Johnson of the Washington Senators, and now the Minnesota Twins going to Edvin. Then we have Mookie Betts of the Los Angeles Dodgers going to Edvin. Babe Ruth, the club of the Yankees, going to Sean, and the Gallery of Stars, Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Atlanta Braves going to Edvin. And now the rookie rundown. We have Brady Singer of Kansas City going to Sean. Christian Javier of Houston, debut, going to Sean. Bobby Delback of Boston to Edvin. Dylan Carlson of St. Louis going to Edvin. Braxton Garrett of the Marlins going to Shannon. Ian Anderson of the Braves going to Edvin. Drew Rasmussen of the Brewers going to Sean. Jared Olivia of the Pirates going to Shannon. Alex Kirilloff of the Twins going to Edvin. Kohai Aria of the Rangers going to Shannon. Braylon Marquez of the Cubs going to Shannon. Josh Fleming of Tampa Bay going to Edvin. Alec Baum, the debut Diamond Kings right there of the Phillies, going to Cliff. Shane McCallahan of Tampa Bay to Edvin. Jesus Sanchez of Miami to Shannon. William Contreras of Atlanta going to Edvin. Dylan Carlson of the St. Louis Cardinals going to Edvin. Ryan Jeffers of the Twins going to Edvin. Followed by Garrett Crochet of the Chicago White Sox right there. Then we have Luis Diaz of the Marlins. David Peterson of the Yankees. Followed up, going to Sean, followed by Letty Tavares of the Rangers to Shannon. Monte Harrison of the Marlins going to Shannon. Christian Pache of the Atlanta Braves going to Edvin. Then we have Will Crow of the Pirates to Shannon. Andres Jimenez of Cleveland going to Shannon. Luis Gonzalez of the Chicago White Sox going to Sean. Tyler Stevenson of the debut of the Cincinnati Reds to Edvin. Sherton Apostle of Texas going to Shannon. Sixto Sanchez of the Marlins to Shannon. Ryan Mountcastle of Baltimore to Shannon. Tyler Stevenson of Cincinnati to Edvin. Chris Bubik of Kansas City to Sean. Brady Singer of the Kansas City Royals going to Sean, followed by Jose Garcia of Cincinnati to Edvin. Nate Pearson of the Blue Jays going to Cliff. Clark Schmidt of the Yanks going to Sean, and Isaac Paredes of the Detroit Tigers going to Cliff. And now on to the featured cards. First, we have the two artist palettes. We have Shane Bieber of Cleveland going to Shannon, and Joey Gallo of Texas going to Shannon as well. Next up, we have an Art of Hitting 38 out of 99, Jose Altuve of the Houston Astros going to Sean. And then we have our portraits. We have Joe Morgan of Cincinnati, and then the debut Diamond Kings, Dylan Carlson of St. Louis. The Cincinnati Reds are going to Edvin. The St. Louis Cardinals are going to Edvin. And then we have the Plum, Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Trevor's Story of the Colorado Rockies, and that is going to Cliff. And then we have our 2 memorabilia and auto. We have a Jersey Kings Chris Sale of the Red Sox and an auto 99 Jazz Chisholm of the Miami Marlins. That Chris Sale of the Red Sox going to Edvin, the Miami Marlins going to Shannon. And there we have the end of break 976.